Now who wanna move crossing on? Now who wanna move out on? If you got stripes and you let the city know you rock 'em, yeah we got 'em, yeah we fought 'em. Like that black and orange up on 'em, bingo bottle, never stop it. To the beast and know 'em. Who they rockin' with the diamond stripes, flossing on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen, we gon' show the world who king. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, who day we ignite.
Welcome to Bengals and Brews. I'm Del Lutman, joined by my co-host, the mayor of Port Chopulus, Chris Mertens, at Port Chop 1972, the BSG at Gregor09. Is there an underscore in there, Greg? Gregor,
no, there is not.
No underscore, so I was right the first time.
Yeah.
But
09 was the year I got into Twitter. That's why I used that name.
They didn't underscore hadn't been invented by then.
The reason the only reason I got into Twitter was to get updates on Andre Smith's contract when he was going to sign that contract his rookie season. That's literally the reason I got on Twitter.
Greg, hit that button.
Am I still on? God damn, I thought I had it set.
Just a little bit.
But yeah, how is everybody? Thank you for joining us, everyone in the Brew Crew. It's a fine Monday. It's very nice out. It's like
yes. Hey, cut a lot of grass today.
I just got up. I cut grass yesterday. That's what I called Dale to brag. I thought he'd be very proud of me.
I am. Cutting grass is fun, Chop.
Cutting grass is Dale's thing, man. He probably cut grass today.
What's not fun is
I thought about it.
You did think about it, though.
What's not fun is sneezing and having your eyes all watered. That's the unfun part about it.
I don't know, Greg. I find that quite fun sometimes, sneezing. And what else was it?
I have water in my eye.
Water in your eyes, man.
Yeah, I mean, the allergies may not be fun, but you know what is fun, Greg? What's always fun?
No, it's always fun. Midwest Best Barbecue and the Chop Shop, proud sponsors of the show. That is always a fun thing. Dale, you set me up for the first time, everybody. Get yourself a Chop Shop shirt and go to Midwest Best and just be you. They'll love you there.
Yeah, just be you, man. You go in there and it's a good place to be you. And eat you can be you while you eat barbecue.
Dale, you jinx the weather because now it's raining right now.
Is it really?
Yep. By me, it sure is.
I'll be damned.
But only for a couple hours. And also, shout out to the Reds. How sweet it is, man. We beat the Pirates, and we are back, baby.
500 now, right?
Yes, 8-8.
Hey, that's better than not being 500.
And this is better than being not 500. Your math is spot on.
And you know what the funny thing is? As a kid, I always thought I didn't know the I was a high pronunciation. I always thought they were called the P-Rits. I'm like, that's a stupid name. Oh, they're Pirates.
Yeah, the Pirates.
You know, Anthony wants to know if you're going to rub yourself down with some barbecue sauce.
No, that's only on a Friday, bro.
Oh yeah, hashtag farm stand.
Yeah, farm stand, Greg. You know what a farm stand is, right?
Yes, I do.
You got one?
I can make one.
Yeah, you should, Greg. You should.
What kind of items are you going to put in your farm stand?
Lord knows.
A lot of ass.
A lot of ass in that farm stand.
They
had no ass today at Graders. I went to Graders. I got my hopes up, hoping they were going to sell them single pieces of cake, get my hopes up, and I was pissed off.
Stop by Greg's house in Madeira. Hit that farm stand if you want some fresh ass.
Usually I call Graders, and they're like, Luther, how you doing today? No cake.
Hey, you're right. You got a special ringing Graders. The phone rings different when you call.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this may be boring to people, but for me, D-line got a lot to go through. So it may bore people is what I'm saying. I'm trying to warn people ahead of time.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot of talking because I want to get through edge and D tackle. The draft officially, round 1 is next Thursday, the draft event next Friday, and then it wraps up with the last day on Saturday. We'll plan to stream at least on Thursday. We'll see how Friday goes at the draft event and how late that is before I get home, whether we'll be back on Saturday at noon. But we are planning to stream 2 out of the 3 days. So we'll see how it goes.
Saturday at 2 o'clock, 3, maybe 4.
Something o'clock.
I don't know, but I do think they're going to go pass rusher. Anthony asked for the podcast listeners. We're less than 10 days away from the draft. Do you think the Bengals go D tackle or they lean towards D end? And maybe they don't go either in the first. Maybe they go linebacker, safety, guard. They have so many needs that they could go so many directions, in my opinion. But I do think they try to address at least pass rush. And the visits that they've had, we heard about Darius Alexander today, Walter Nolan, Omar Norman-Lott, TJ Sanders. Those are all pass rushing defensive tackles. So they are definitely eyeing those guys. And I like it because I have been saying we need to upgrade the pass rush there.
They get your little Geno in, Aeneas Peebles.
I haven't heard of him yet, but they should, right? I mean,
yes.
they're bringing all these other pass rushers in. He's another good one, and he might be one if they don't hit their guy in the first 3 rounds, like some of these guys are expected to be. He might be there in the 4th.
Well, Dale, you saw who's visiting the Chiefs today is Martinez. We don't want Martinez going to the Chiefs, that running back. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of his.
Yeah.
But yeah, so gonna go through this the best I can. From 20 to 1, there's guys outside my top 20 at edge. I'll literally mention 6 more quickly. That's just how loaded this class is.
Right.
But so honestly, if I start, it's at 26. Hugh Robinson from Alabama, pass rush specialist. Doesn't have great size. Barron Sorrell, Texas. Elijah Roberts. He may even kick in more interior from SMU. Jared Ivey, he did not test well at all. I think he's probably more of a 3-4 kind of guy who's basically like a D tackle / 3-4 end is probably his best fit. Savion Jones did not crack my top 20 chop. I'm sorry. He's great. He's just outside it. Him and Antoine Powell-Ryland, who I really like a lot, is also outside my top 20. He's more undersized. But I think Savion Jones, he may also be best fit as a 3-4 end because he's a big body dude as well.
Yeah.
But he can get after the quarterback. So it's just a ton of guys to like. That's 6 that don't even crack my top 20, though, that I like quite a bit. Any thoughts on those, Chop? So if you want to talk about any of those.
I mean, I'm a big fan of Savion Jones. I mean, he caught my eye because I scouted the helmet at the Senior Bowl. I saw him at the Senior Bowl, but he tore it up, man.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm not so deep into the college ball yet where I look at where I know all the different positions and stuff. It's still like the twinkling lights I look at. Like, oh, look at that, So I look at when I was watching LSU, Jaden Daniels, Malik Neighbors and stuff, when Harold Perkins was playing and, their other linebacker, Will Weeks. It's not even Will. It's his brother. What the fuck is the brother's name? The one that's starting, number 40.
Whit Weeks.
I got the initials right. Whit Weeks. That's what I'm saying. So I did notice him at the Senior Bowl, and he fucking had a great Senior Bowl. Yes or no, right?
Yeah, the Senior Bowl game especially is when he really flashed even more than the practices. A lot of guys had left, and he really stood out. Him and Landon Jackson, I'd say, for the edge, probably was 2 of the best in the actual game.
Now, I'm not a homer going, Savion Jones in the early round. I'm like day 3. Savion Jones in day 3.
I could see him going 3rd round. I mean, I don't know Bengals, but I could see. That's how high I am on these guys. He's outside my top 20, but it won't surprise me if he goes 3rd or 4th round easily.
No, when you read your draft guide, man, Savion Jones looks like a player you want.
Yeah, 6'5", 280. So, I mean, that's why I said maybe 3-4 in because he's so big. But 20.1% win rate on true pass sets. Had 4.5 sacks last season, 2.5 the year before, and 4.5 all the way back in 2022. So it's solid production. Never been spectacular when it comes to the sacks, but hell, he's had 2 seasons where he had 4.5 sacks. That's as much as Shamar Stewart has had his entire career.
Right.
Just say.
It's that defense, though, Dale. It's that defensive line there at Texas A&M.
Yeah, I was a people pleaser, Crip. I'll go ahead and get that out of the way. I got a lot to get to, but in high school I had a signature hook shot. I didn't have a hook shot, but I played some hoops, and I was trying to please the people while I was out there.
True. Yeah.
I was pleasing the people.
Sometimes you got to please yourself.
Sometimes you do. Sometimes you got to please your friends.
True.
I wouldn't advise.
And sometimes in a hostage situation, you never know.
Yeah. And Antoine Powell-Ryland, I mentioned as well, 6'3", 258, not even in the top 20. But for him, we talk about the opposite of a guy like Stewart, Mykal Williams. His sack production the last 2 seasons, 25.5 sacks in just the last 2 seasons.
Damn.
Yeah, that's quite impressive. So that's why I wanted to mention him. Now, getting into my top 20 for edge rushers, Tyler Barron, 6'5", 258. He was at Tennessee before switching over and going to Miami, Florida. Also, another guy had 30.1% win rate on true pass sets, 8.64 RAS score. 6 penalties, though. He needs to improve his overall strength. He does have some injury history. So he's probably also a day 3 guy, but he comes in at 20 overall. 19 is David Walker, 6'1", 263. Smaller guy, smaller school, Central Arkansas. But I love his tape. He is so explosive. He's like a little meatball, but he can get after the quarterback, and he'll hit the shit out of you. He played lower competition, but with guys like that, you want to see him absolutely flash on tape, and he flashed on tape. Even when they played North Dakota State, who puts a ton of offensive linemen into the NFL, he stood out and had a great game. I clipped that one up. It is on my Twitter if you want to go and find that one. So he comes in at 19 on the edge list. I'll go down. 18 is Kyle Kennard, who I've gone back and forth. He needs to improve his strength. Fifth-year guy, 6'4", 254 from South Carolina. Jack Sawyer's at 17. Maybe that's low for some people, but I'm taking out the homerness of how great Jack Sawyer was for the bad guys.
I agree with that.
And I've got him down at 17. At 16, I've got Josiah Stewart from Michigan, 6'1", 249. If he was bigger, he'd be so much higher, but it's a guy who led football, and he had good run defense grades too, so even though he's undersized, I still think he could go third or fourth round easily. I don't know that he gets out of day two. I think someone will take him third round. And even if he's just a pass rush specialist in the NFL, he'll have a role. The dude can straight get after the quarterback. It was, including the playoffs, it was a 40.2% win rate. 40.2%. We talk about how good it is when a guy's at 20.
You better bump this guy up a little, Dale.
Would you take him at 49, or is that a little too rich?
I don't think I would, but there's people that would. I would consider him in the third. If we haven't taken an edge and we're in the third, he would certainly be high on my list for options at pick 81.
Who's got a better pass win rate than him?
No one, but he's
number one overall. Let's go.
It matters. It's not everything.
Yeah.
My next guy is Braden Swinson from LSU.
No, Chop doesn't know him.
6'4", 255.
Man, we're already cracking the top 10. This went fast.
He's outside the top 10, but he's another guy I could see. This is where I'm getting into almost fringe second, third rounders, guys I could see going into the back end of the second round. I could see. It depends how the run goes of the guys before this, or if some of them fall, but I think Swinson, 33.9% win rate, so not much below Josiah Stewart, Chop, and he's 6'4", 255, so great size, 8.5 sacks this year. Problem is he didn't produce a lot before that. He spent 3 years at Oregon. I don't even know if you knew that. He spent 3 years at Oregon before he transferred to LSU.
Yeah, he just likes to do flashes, Dale. That way people can see it, and that way teams like the Bengals that pick lower, because they're winners, will have a shot at him. This is Braden Swinson's master plan to not get drafted early to a shitty team. He sucked just enough, and like you said, in 3 games he had great sack production. And he realized
seven of his 8.5, Chop.
Yeah, he pulled the reins back. He was like, "Oh shit! If I keep up this projection, I'll be playing for the Cleveland Browns." He held up. He slowed down. He'll be good.
In the 3-game span, was it near the start or the end of the season? I'm just curious.
It was they were kind of spread out from what I remember, but I don't have that directly in front of me. I just know I noted that in the draft guide that 7 of those sacks came in 3 games. So he still had 1.5, combined elsewhere. But
no, that's still impressive.
Yeah, 8.5 is still good. But those 3 games really stood out.
He is a piece of man meat.
So I'm trying to see where I'm at exactly on the rank. I believe I am around 13 or 14, but yeah. So I'm going through the notes here, so I don't have that list directly in front of me, but I know what I can do. I can multitask, and I can pull up my head rankings on my phone.
Anthony Munoz was at the Blue Jackets game.
Thank you, Chop. Yeah. He was. He's a big old dude, man. Imagine if he was out there on the ice.
He's got huge hands.
But so Swinson was in the top 15, and Jesus, I don't even have this in the correct order because Jack Sawyer was here at one point. Ashton Gelati, though, is now here.
Ooh, there's a good one.
So I believe I'm at 14. I'm at 14,
Gelati's
and that's
really he's like that late bloomer, man. He just keeps going up.
Yeah, and then I think James Rapine's listening to Dale because didn't he have an article out and it was like somebody, it was like teasing somebody for the Bengals and it was a picture of Gelati.
Dale, you were like the first one that kept talking about Gelati. All of a sudden, everybody else is like, "Oh, we love Gelati."
That's right. James Rapine is on Dale's nuts. Stop it, James.
He does have a draft guide, just saying. But no, these guys, they get around to people, and I'll say draft guy Jared, who is a Louisville fan, is another guy who was high on him. So, he was a guy who people that do summer scouting and they watch these players over the summer, obviously he was on the radar for people like us because he had 11 sacks in 2023. So it's a guy who was coming back but had 11 sacks the year before. Sack production was down this year. He had 4.5, but the win rate was still at 31%.
Wasn't that didn't he have an injury?
I don't think so. And he's 6'3", 264, so he's got that size the Bengals like. But he was more athletic, so that's why I kind of gave him a little bump here late in the process even more, even though I always said I liked him, right?
Yeah.
But when his relative athletic score came out as a 9.75, and I went, well, shit, that was one of the only things I was concerned about is just how good of an athlete was he.
Right.
How many sacks did he have his senior year, this past year again?
This year, 4.5, but the year before in his junior season, he had 11. So he was still getting a high pressure rate. It just wasn't always finishing in sacks.
Could he sneak into second, or is he still a third-round pick?
I think he's third. No one's talking about him as a second. I say talent-wise, sure, I think he could. That's why I've got him ahead of Swinson, because I think Swinson could do that too.
I just keep calling him Gillette after the shaving cream.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how to pronounce it. I pronounce things how I pronounce them. Sorry. I could probably look at Dane Brugler's The Beast Draft Guide and learn that, but you know what? I'm stubborn. I
like gelati because it reminds me of gelato, and gelato's like ice cream, and I like
gelato is good, Chop.
Gelato's good. Gelati.
So next guy on my top 20 edge list is Jordan Birch, and he comes in at 13th overall. And it's another player that I think could be versatile. You could move up and down the line. You could kick him inside on third downs because he's 6'4", 279. He moves really well for a guy that's 280 pounds. And he's played some D tackle. He was at South Carolina 3 years, the last 2 at Oregon. Another guy, he was injured some this year, but he still put up 8.5 sacks for Oregon. That was missing, I think, at least 2 or 3 or 4 games throughout the season.
God.
Yeah.
I think he missed 3 or 4, actually, because it said 10 games played, and they usually play 13, 14.
Jesus, that's good enough for a season.
Yeah. But like I said, good athlete for that size. He's got good hand usage. I think he's going to be a player in the league. I think he's a guy who would be in a rotation immediately. So I think right now he's probably third round, but he's another guy. If somebody took him late second, wouldn't shock me at all. I don't see him necessarily getting out of the third. But like if he was the pick at 81, I think he'd be a great pick at 81, just like the other guys we mentioned here recently.
Oh, absolutely.
Now this has been a big riser. Femi Oladejo is at 12. So see, even Greg's like, I'm not as caught up on the alt-man draft guide. You must not have read it since Friday, Greg, or Thursday.
Oh, I did. What college is he out of again?
UCLA, 6'3", 259. He's only 21 years old. So he was playing linebacker. Our guy that we love, Carson Swessinger, they wanted to get him on the field. So they moved. Swessinger got into the lineup as a linebacker, which worked out very well. He's a stud. But Femi moved to edge, and it worked out well for him. He went to the Senior Bowl, had a very good Senior Bowl week. So he's just learning the edge position to play that full time. And only being 21 years old, he's still very young. Tons of talent. So I think that's the reason that people are like, I've seen some people go, he could be the sneaky first round guy. I'm not there. I think late second, I would still like this guy like in the third round personally, but I agree the upside for this guy is tremendous because his age plus just now learning edge and did it very well. So he only had 4.5 sacks in the one season, but that's his one season playing edge instead of linebacker.
Well, no, he still has room to grow at 21 years old, right? I mean, that's another great thing about that. So, yeah, wow, Dale, you got me sold on this dude a little bit.
Yeah, he was originally at California for 2 years, then UCLA for 2. He was playing linebacker last year because UCLA remember they had the Murphy twins and they had Latu at edge. So they had this kid playing exclusively at linebacker last year because he wasn't going to play over those guys on the edge.
I'll be damned.
Yeah.
Man, where'd you have him at before?
He was probably closer to like 18 to 20.
Okay.
And I've moved him up to 12th overall just because I do see the upside. And honestly, I didn't realize he was that young. I didn't realize he like just turned 21 years old. So this is a kid who played this season learning edge at 20 years old and played it very well at UCLA.
Yeah. Keep in mind, we might not need because Miles Murphy said he is ready to be dominant.
Yep.
And as we get down to some of these guys like Abdul Carter at one, I'm probably not going to spend a ton of time, but I'm trying to go through as many names as possible and give my rankings and touch on guys and talk about where they might be drafted, because I think that's an important thing to give people an idea. Now, it only takes one team to draft a guy, but at the same point in time, there's usually a general idea of where a guy might go this round or that round type of thing. So the next guy is JT Tuimoloau from Ohio State. Put up 12.5 sacks, which is very impressive. He had a great playoff run. A lot of his sack production came in the playoffs. I don't think he's going to be the stud star pass rusher. He's more of a bull rush kind of guy. He doesn't have a lot of pass rush moves. Doesn't always have the greatest pass rush plan. But he's 6'4", 265. He's going to be a stud against the run. Al Golden talked about setting the edge. He's going to set the edge. But he can go and get the quarterback, and he's a high-effort, high-character type of player as well.
Yeah,
so,
and he got a really good look at that defense.
Yeah, and he got like 12. Didn't he have like 12 sacks this year?
12.5 sacks. Like I said, I think 4 or 5 of them was in the playoff run, so he really came on even during the playoffs.
I think that's just fine for a. That's not 12 sacks sells me, buddy.
No, 12.5 sacks is great. That's what I'm saying. And another thing, even when he wasn't getting tons of sacks, what he's really good about is getting his hands up. He bats down a ton of passes. And you guys remember when we had guys like Carlos Dunlap, that's such an underrated thing. When you have guys that can do it, it shows up because it just shuts shit down before it even goes anywhere to be complete.
Dunlap, Johnson, and Margus Hunt.
Margus Hunt, man.
The great Margus Hunt. What a second round pick.
Right. Hey, we took him over the Honey Badger, but that just went fine.
Who fucked the Honey Badger?
Honey Badger's literally still playing.
The Bengals wanted the Honey Badger. They said they wanted him, but they liked
Why
Margus
would they
Hunt.
want him? He's from a shit school.
It's wild. And number 10 on my list is a Dustin Croft personal favorite, Landon Jackson, 6'6", 264. So big dude.
I like him too.
I like him, yeah. His athleticism being a 9.78 relative athletic score. And he has decent bend for his size. He's not going to bend the edge like, an Ezerico or a Mike Green, but he's much, much bigger, and he's going to be better against the run. He's been very consistent. The last 2 seasons, each season he had 6.5 sacks. So 6.5 last year, 6.5 last year. Yeah. Guess what? He's probably going to do in the NFL, similar to Sam Hubbard.
6.5.
He's probably going to have some years where he gets you about 6.5 sacks.
6.5.
And that's okay because we have
that's all right.
Anybody getting
you got
sacks.
Someone like Trey on the other side giving you 17, 16, 18 sacks.
If he could be your Wallace, if he could be your Wallace Gilberry type role, I'm fine with that.
Was there even 6.5 outside of Trey on the Bengals last year?
I don't think so.
But so I didn't mention, but JTT, I think he's not getting to the 3rd round probably. And also I'd say the same for Landon Jackson. Those are guys, if the Bengals want them, it'd have to be at 49, or maybe they trade down in the 2nd, get, an extra 4th round pick even or something, since they only have 6 picks, and still get one of these guys toward the end of the 2nd round. And then my next guy, some people think will be gone before we're on the clock at 17, or will be the pick at pick 17. But obviously, him being ranked 9th in my edge rankings, I view him as a 2nd round pick. And that's Mykel Williams from Georgia.
Okay.
6'5", 260. Wasn't as athletic on the portions that he tested at Georgia's Pro Day as he was supposed to be. That was the whole selling point, right? And he's so athletic, but he was injured this year. He didn't get to show his full potential. Okay. And then he doesn't test well. Maybe he's still injured. I don't know. But he did have 5 sacks still this year. He had 4.5 the year before, 4.5 the year before. So he's not abysmal, production-wise. Every year he had as many or more than Shamar Stewart had his whole career. So if you're going to promote Mykel Williams over Shamar Stewart, that would be, you would say, well, look at his sack production, this, that, and the other. But I don't know that his upside for me, the only reason I have Stewart higher is because I see the upside for him more. Mykel Williams, I think, could be a fine, decent player, but it's going to take some time, kind of like Miles Murphy did. And I don't want to do that in the 1st round specifically.
Are you saying that you're thinking the Bengals are going to make that the pick at 49 or 17?
Please don't say 17. Please
I think that if the Bengals take him, it'll be at pick 17. Where would I be comfortable taking him? I would be comfortable taking him at pick 49 if I were the Bengals, because he is 44th on my board.
That's fine.
So I got him a little higher than where he would go at 49. But I think everyone thinks his upside, he's going in the 1st round. People a lot smarter than me, these draft guys. But this is just where I have him. It's one that I differ on a lot more than all the bigger name draft people.
Yeah.
So, but that's where I have him. That's how I see it. I can't get on board to put him any higher than that. So he's my 9th rated edge, my 44th overall player. I really hope the Bengals don't take him at 17 because of how I view him. Not saying I'm smarter than anybody else, but just for me personally, I would rather not see him be the pick.
I met some people that you're smarter than.
There might be a couple, but
There
there's
is.
not
I
many.
met him.
Yeah.
I met him.
Princely Umanmielen, I have at 8.
Hey,
Now,
hey.
some people think he could be there at 81. I think it's crazy if he goes past like pick 49. If we haven't taken an edge in the first, I would love Princely as our second round
Yeah.
pick.
If we got him in third, oh my Lord.
According to your draft guide, you'd like him at 17 over Michael Williams, too.
Over Michael Williams, yes. But no, not at 17
Right,
either.
yes.
To clarify, no, I would not like him at 17.
Only if it's if it's the 2 pick. If there's only 2 players left to pick from, Princely.
But Princely had a 32.4% win rate on true pass sets. So that's amazing. His athleticism, 8.98. He is a bit smaller, 6'4", 244. So would the Bengals be okay with a guy that's 244? I always think it's silly. I think that's plenty big enough, but they usually have guys between 250 and 270 to 280. So him being 244, that's 6 pounds. Will it scare the Bengals off? I don't know. But it's possible. He had 10.5 sacks this year. In his only season at Ole Miss. Before that, he was with Florida for 4 years. And at Florida, he had 7 sacks. So the last 2 years, he's put up 17.5 sacks. He's produced. He does have good bend. He's a decent athlete. He's got a really nice spin move that I like. So, and I think he's got a good pass rush arsenal. He's got a nice move set there. Whew, trying to get through these edges, Chop. Then I got D tackles. I should have done these one at a time, but I'm behind the 8 ball here on getting all this talk in.
Here, just to throw in a little mixer here, Dustin, a little off topic, but not off topic. What the D tackle says. What prospect do you think is being overrated, and which one do you think comes out and shocks the world?
Well, I think Michael Williams being overrated. That kind of goes along with what I was saying, but especially at edge, because D-line, this show is edge, and I'll get to D tackles as well. So, I mean, you can ask that question again when we get
I bet you I know the one that you're saying shocks the world is Peebles.
Well, when we get to D tackles, yeah.
I mean, yeah. D tackles, edges.
Yeah, because if it's either one, then that's probably my answer. You answered that for me. The one I think would shock the world would be Peebles. The one I think is overrated is Michael Williams, because I keep seeing him going in the top 20, and I just don't view him that high.
That's a D-line overall.
Yes.
Yeah. All
right. At number 7, I got Nick Scorton from Texas A&M. Before that, at Purdue, another guy, 10 sacks last year, 5 this year. So he still had decent sack production, but it wasn't 10 like at Purdue. 24.2% win rate on true pass sets. He's a high effort player. He's got a decent pass rush arsenal. There's a lot I like about him. He doesn't have elite flexibility. He doesn't, he's not going to be the most explosive guy off the snap, but he is going to give you 110% effort. He's 6'3", 257, but he was like 280 at Texas A&M, which I think didn't help his sack production. Yeah. I think he was closer to that 260 at Purdue when he had 10 sacks, and that's probably what he plays at in the NFL. So I like Scorton a lot. I think he wouldn't be as crazy at pick 17 as Michael Williams, but I also still wouldn't want him at 17. I think if he's there at 49, you go, wow, we got a steal.
Yeah.
But I don't want to reach for him, but at the same point in time, I would rather take him than Michael Williams. I think he's more instant impact.
Yeah.
For next season.
Right.
Greg,
Greg likes him over Shamar Stewart, don't you, Greg?
Oh, yeah.
Scorton.
No, I like Scorton. I take Scorton over Stewart. There's one draft magazine that has Scorton over Stewart. I'm not taking a chance on Stewart. There's no way. If it's all right, I'll just say this. If it's Stewart or Pierce, I will support it, as always, as a Bengals fan, but I'll be like this.
He scratches his head so much his hair starts.
You picked a bad example for me, man. If it's Stewart or Pierce, it's fucking Stewart 100%. Ain't nobody going to Pierce's birthday party, Greg.
Yeah, I know.
Nobody's a one-trick fucking pony, and the rumor is he doesn't even like doing the second trick. He's like,
well, Chop, this is the time for you not to listen to my player number 6 then, because it is James Pierce Jr. As you rail on him and how terrible it is. Listen, I had him at 3rd overall, guys. So me bumping him down to 6 is me saying seems to be enough smoke there that I gotta listen to it right at this point. If teammates don't like him, coaches didn't like him, he didn't show up to practices. If even like part of that's true, what we've gone through with Jermaine Burton,
Exactly.
I knock him down. So he's 30th overall on my board. So would I want him at 17? No, because he's 30th on my board. But I still have him to where it's like, okay, if he's going to fall to 49, I can talk myself into it because he's a very good pass rusher. 7.5 sacks this year, 10 last year. Great pressure rate. He's 6'5", 245. He ran a 4.4 40-yard dash, and that's for a defensive end. I know. I'm just saying, if he falls to 49, I would still be able to justify it.
Dale, I'm going to be honest with you. I have misgivings taking him at 49. I'm sorry. 1.5 sacks. Okay, Dale. Well, let's go to school.
He had 7.5 sacks. We're talking about Pierce. Don't be going ahead. Stewart's at number 3. We'll get to him.
Okay, but here's the thing, Dale. It's like someone having a high Q but only a C average. That's a sign of laziness right there. I'm sorry.
7.5 sacks and 10 the year before, so he produced.
But the attitude, man.
He probably could have produced even more, maybe, right? Is what you're saying.
It's still good, but the talent at that level, I'm sorry, man. I have high expectations.
He had 50 plus pressures in 2024 alone. That's one of the most in college.
Okay. I got Stewart mixed up with, for the longest time, I got Stewart and Pierce mixed up, so that was my bad. I would take Pierce over Stewart, but man, the attitude, I am sorry.
No, I get it.
No, let's just compare it to apples here. Let's just say that it's Jermaine Burton this year, and last year we're talking about Jermaine Burton, about his production level and how good it was at Alabama and how he never fucking dropped the pass. And we're like, hey, that's okay. And look what fuck turned out. So if you get the same shit with James Pierce, I'm out on him until late day 3. If you think that's what you're getting, no fucking way. Like Jermaine Burton didn't even play. Got kicked out of 2 different houses. And the guy's got all the money in the fucking world, can't pay his rent because he's
I'll tell you another player we took from Tennessee. I think this is the last player from Tennessee. Who was that wide receiver that everybody raved about that didn't do anything for us?
T.
Higgins.
No, they got.
He played in Tennessee, didn't he?
No, he played at Clemson.
Oh yeah.
Who was that guy? Josh.
Oh, now I know who you're talking about, and I can't.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, he was what, a 4th round pick or something?
Yeah, and everybody said that was, oh my gosh, that's a steal right there. And he had all the measurables, but it just.
That's how little he did, though. I cannot remember his name. So it was Josh something.
Josh.
And I want to say Palmer, but I know that's a guy who just signed with the Bills. So that's what's throwing me off. Is the name that's popping in my head is somebody else.
Josh Malone.
Malone, yeah. Did nothing here, but 4th round pick and was supposed to be really good. And yeah, I didn't know what happened there.
Oh gosh.
Here you go. If the Bengals take Nolan at 17, Altman has to do the dot bot.
Oh hell yeah, he will.
I'll probably be pretty sauced up by that point.
I got to tell you, by the time pick 17 comes, there's going to be a lot of Lady Bly.
I'm telling myself now, while it's a week and it's 10 days out, I'm like, I just need to get beer. Because even if I drink a fucking 12-pack of beer, I won't be complete shit the next day.
Yeah, right.
But if I drink that rum, boys, I'm going to be shit the next day. And I got the whole, even though it's not till the evening and the night.
I do need to go
for the draft event. I'm 2 hours away. I got to be able to drive my car to meet Derek at some point. You know?
You better go Miller Lite draft night.
Well, I know what I'm going to talk myself into, though. Ooh, it's draft night. Rum would be so good.
Yeah.
I fucking won't be able to help it. My top 5 edge players. I won't spend tons of time on some of these, but some of them we will because there's quite a bit to talk about with them. And they could be in play for 17, a lot of these guys. The sneaky one for me is number 5, Donovan Ezeriku from Boston College. So the reason that we could think the Bengals might not be interested, the size profile they normally go with. He's 6'2", 248, but he's got very long arms, 34.5-inch arms. That's insane. You talk about tackle thresholds for these guys that are 6'6", that trying to make sure they hit 33 inches, remember? Like Will Campbell, that's a big deal.
Right.
Ezeriku's arm length is 34.5 inches.
That's Inspector Gadget right there.
That guy could.
He's 6'2", he's long, and he wins that way. He can get people's hands off of him. He's got a great pass rush move set. I like so much about him. He only had a 6.6 missed tackle rate. So even because he's got those long arms, that plays into it. Guys that miss tackles a lot of times, they could have short arms or they're just not a good fucking tackler. Yeah. But 26.1% win rate on true pass sets. So quick first step, bend around the edge, all the things you want. Athleticism was 8.12. Guess why it wasn't even higher? Because of his size. Because that goes into your relative athletic score. But he is just, I absolutely love him. Boston College, smart kid, high character. I don't think it'd be crazy to get him at pick 17. And he almost had 17 sacks this season alone at Boston College.
He's really moving up a lot of draft boards, isn't he?
Yeah. And I've been talking about him for a while, so
right.
I feel good about that one, right?
Yep.
Me and Ryan Sparks got to give us our credit.
Yep.
But yeah, so I like him, and he cracks my top 5. And I definitely think he was just one of the biggest risers throughout the whole season. And the thing is, it's not like he's a one-year wonder. Yeah, he only had 2 sacks last year, but the year before he had 8.5. So he had another season as a sophomore where he put up 8.5 sacks. So it's not like he's a one-year wonder. Number 4 is a guy that you like, Chop, probably quite a bit more than me, honestly. But I think he could be in play, especially needing a linebacker, needing an edge. Decide where you want to play him. Let him play both. Move him around. That's Jalen Walker from Georgia.
All right. Here we go.
6'1", 243.
It's not going to happen.
That's a linebacker. And he don't have the arm length that Ezeriku has. So he's an inch shorter, 5 less pounds, but he's a freak, man. He's a very good player.
That's what I'm saying. All that said, he's still one spot ahead of Ezeriku.
And he's still ahead of him. 6.5 sacks. And that's playing linebacker a lot. He's not playing on the edge exclusively like these other guys were. So I like him. I don't love him. If he was picking 17,
how good is he at linebacker?
He's pretty good.
So that's what I'm saying. If you got a linebacker out there who can also set the edge and rush, come on, man.
It would be a tough conversation for me if I was strictly putting him at linebacker, whether it's him or Jihad Campbell. It would be a toss-up. And I probably could talk myself into Walker pretty easily as my linebacker 1 if I had him just at linebacker. So that's probably why he's 4 on my board, more than anything. Because I do see the value.
Just at linebacker, is it like Campbell, Swishinger, and then Walker?
No. I'm saying he might be over Campbell for me.
Oh, he would be linebacker 1?
Yeah, that's why he's edge 4 for me, because I'm still very high on him. Like, he's a top 15 player. Damn it, Greg, I did jinx it. Now I hear it's about to start raining here.
I already looked about 5 o'clock.
The good news is, you know what the good news is? It left me right now, so it's all yours.
The thunder just passed here, like big thunder just rolled through
I know, Dale, so it's now.
But I looked at the future radar, and it says about 5 p.m., Dale's when Portsmouth's getting fucking bent over.
Well, I think it's kind of a little early because it's not looking great out there. My number 3. Shamar Stewart. I know I've talked a lot of shit about him, the sack production. He ends up at number 3 in my edge rankings. 6'5", 267. That Raz got me, baby. That 10 Raz. He's as athletic as a guy like Myles Garrett. Now, I'm not calling him Myles Garrett because he didn't have nowhere near the sack production. But if he hits his ceiling, you hope he's 50% of Myles Garrett, and that's a damn good player. And then
he's not at his ceiling, though. Elite. Greg, you're silly if you get pissed off if we grab this guy. Like, all he needs is fine-tuning.
I don't want no fine-tuning.
He's a beast, though. He'll put pressure on any quarterback right now.
Hitting the home runs. Let's start hitting some doubles for once, man. I'm tired of these potential home run picks.
I think he's gonna be at minimum good against the run, but I think we need pass rush, Greg. I'm with you. I would be a little disappointed myself, but overall, to rank the edges as a whole, not just saying, the Bengals haven't developed, and we have Myles Murphy. If I put this as a whole, because that's how I do my draft guide. My draft guide isn't just for Bengals fans. It's my thoughts on the entire draft as a whole. That's why he's number 3, because the upside is crazy. And if he goes somewhere where they got a good D-line coach, he could be an absolute stud a year from now. We're all going, well, shit, he should have went top 5.
Right, and if you know what, and he performs well, I will spread my legs out, and he can kick me in the nuts all he wants.
Spread my legs out and let him me.
So you're saying if a guy that's rated in Dale's top 50 does well in the NFL, he can kick you in the nuts?
Yeah, Dale, I'm not going against you, but even you have your misgivings.
Well, wait a minute. You said if Shamar Stewart does well in the NFL, you'll spread your legs and he can kick you in the nuts.
Sure, that's fine.
I got a feeling you got a nut kicking coming.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude's going to play well. He might not be everything you wanted him to be, but he's going to be a good player in the NFL.
We'll see.
Or he'll suck, and Greg will be right, and we'll get to hear Greg say.
It didn't come out right when I said I'll spread my legs out. Dale had that.
I know. I was like, whoa, pause.
Spread your legs for Shamar Stewart.
But yeah, and the next guy, man, it's the character stuff, but I still got him at number 2. It's Mike Reed, just because all these draft people that would know more of how the teams feel and all the background stuff more than I would, I feel like they're still putting him in their top 15, their top 20. So for me, I'm going, well, I guess he's not being talked about like Pierce.
Right.
And if sexual assault allegations, he should be way below Pierce or talked about way worse.
You would think.
In my opinion. I'm just saying, like,
I don't know. I say the thing is talent wise, hell yeah, this is the biggest question mark, because talent wise, we're just talking talent. Hell yeah, but the character, oh my Lord.
Undersized, 6'3", 251. Now, what Ezeriku has that he doesn't, he has short arms. He only has 32-inch arms. So barely 32-inch arms compared to the 34 and a half. So, but he highly productive at Marshall. He's a good pass rusher, got great moves. He almost relies on his spin move too much, though. You even saw that during Senior Bowl week. But he's got the explosiveness, the bend around the edge, all of that. If he's the pick at 17, I'm going to hope like hell they really vetted him better than they did Jackson Carman from the reports. Allegedly. You got to say allegedly.
Yeah, right, yeah. Allegedly. But Dustin's right, man. Character concerns with this class at edge and D tackle has thrown the board into a mess.
For sure. And then Abdul Carter's at 1. He's my number 1 overall player. I'm not going to spend a ton of time talking about him. He's a great player. 12 sacks. Played linebacker before, but then you saw him play full-time edge and dominate. So that's it.
I'm pretty sure that everybody has Abdul Carter. I've seen a couple draft boards where maybe Travis Hunter was over Abdul Carter, but I don't understand that. Maybe Abdul Carter falls to 17.
Now, hey, gas mask alert. Come on, let's find a gas mask.
Abdul Carter could gas mask at the draft in the green room, and I think he still gets picked in top 10. When I see some drafts have him fallen like 9 to the Saints, I'm like, no way.
He does not get past the Giants. There's no way he gets past the Giants.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. It depends when you got the Giants. I mean, didn't you say, Dale, that Thibodeau will be Thibodeau or whatever his name is will be on the market if he goes to the Giants?
I can't imagine he's not, right? Because they have him and Burns, and if they bring in Carter, why wouldn't you trade that guy, even if you get a day 2 or a 4th rounder, even at that point, right?
I mean, if you ask me if you're the Giants, I'm still gonna you got no quarterback. So
what I heard, I can't remember the podcast, Chop, but what I heard is that Thibodeau would not take it well if Carter is so he's not going to be willing to play backup to Abdul Carter.
Right. Yes.
But I don't remember the podcast that said that because I have no idea, right? But that's what I was said. And it was like national guys, so I take their word for it, you know.
Yeah.
D tackles. See, this is why you split these up, because now we're almost 45 minutes in, and I want to get through 20 of these guys. It's going to be impossible. Chop's got to work, and he'll have to.
I do have to work.
What's your heart out, Chop? What's your heart out?
I mean, 20 minutes.
Okay, so about 5 after.
5 after. Yeah. That's like 50 minutes, Dale.
No, what I meant was when we're an hour and 5 minutes in.
Oh, yeah.
Is what I meant. Like I'm looking at the live where it says 43. That's where but it's only 4:15. I get it.
Yeah.
Cam Jackson from Florida, 6'6", 328. He's not that 400 and some pound behemoth. He's the other guy. He's the guy that can actually play football, in my opinion, and will make it in the league. Big son bitch. Is not going to give you pass rush, but if you're looking for a run stopper, that's Cam Jackson from Florida. He cracks my top 20, and there's guys like Riley Mills who don't. J.J. Pegues just outside at like 21. So Cam Jackson cracks it at 20.
I like Pegasus. That's what I call him.
It's not that big giant motherfucker from Florida, is it?
No. That's what I said. This guy is 6'6", 328. He is a big giant motherfucker, but
he's not the biggest.
He's not the 500-pounder almost.
Right.
Yeah, almost 500-pounder.
You did top 20 defensive lineman. You still didn't have Deion Walker there?
Greg, I just started.
We just started.
I'm lost. I'm lost.
He's in that was edge. I did
Hey,
20 edge players. Now I'm trying to do D tackles because we got a lot to cover.
I hate Mondays.
Is that 500-pounder? Is he in the draft this year?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
He had a RAS score 464. So, and he is a big bitch.
And he ran like a 10-minute 40.
But yeah. So I don't think he'll be drafted, but I mean he'll probably get a camp invite.
I would pick him up undrafted just for shits and gigs to let him go out there and practice and see, man. He's a giant fucker.
I just want to see him up next to Mims and Brown and those guys.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
19, Buckeye Homer here. I'll say it for you, Crip. Ty Hamilton. So not Tyleek Williams, but Ty Hamilton comes in at 19, 6'3", 299. Surprised me with the RAS at 9.21. They've asked him to stop the run a little more. He did have 3.5 sacks, but I think he's going to be more of a pass rusher in the NFL than what he was at Ohio State. So you're kind of betting on the traits. And his brother plays for the Jaguars, pretty good player.
Hey.
18, CJ West, Indiana, 6'1", 316. Another guy who's probably not going to be a pass rusher. He had 2 sacks. He was at Kent State 4 years, just the 1 year at Indiana. But he's a run defender, 88.1 run defense grade this year for Indiana. And he can give you a little bit. He played very well against Ohio State, too. That's when he really jumped on my radar. But, yeah, I definitely – and these guys I'm talking probably where we're starting with these guys, probably 4th round or so. And then we're working our way down. Vernon Broughton, maybe he goes in the 3rd. This is a guy from Texas, 6'5", 311. Had a very good season playing behind some very talented players. There's another Texas D tackle on this list later, Alfred Collins. What the hell is Greg keep doing?
I don't know, man.
No, my power. Sorry.
Your power's cutting in and out.
Yeah. Just kidding. Go ahead, Dale. I'm sorry. I was dealing with something. Sorry, buddy.
I was just curious. You cut it in and out. But anyways, Vernon Broughton. So I have him at 17. I think he can give you pass rush. So if we miss out on D tackles early, this is a guy I like quite a bit. And this guy, talk about long arms, 35-inch arms, 35-inch arm length. It's crazy.
That is long, man. That guy's arms are long and strong and down to get the friction on.
Yes. And he's a 5-year player there at Texas. But like I said, they were behind Sweat and Byron Murphy that we loved both of those guys last year for talent on-field football-wise. And he had to play behind him and Alfred Collins. They're churning out some good D tackles at Texas. And I've got Broughton coming in at 17. At 16, Greg, here's your guy, buddy. I got him 16. I wouldn't touch him till the 4th round personally. Other people might have him higher. Yeah, he played with a broken back, but he's 6'7", 331, Deion Walker.
Yeah, Jimmy's got me sold. I'm sorry, man. Dude, you talk oh my gosh, high ceiling. We get him in the 4th round. I'll take him in the 3rd. Jesus Christ.
Here you go. Stranger got the stats from what that big giant motherfucker in Florida ran. 5'9", 40-yard dash. Desmond 464.
I mean, at that weight, it's still like
get out of the way.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I'm surprised that guy ran under 6 seconds, 7 seconds, whatever, man. That dude is a monster. And if you get someone on your team like that, you're not looking for speed at all. You're just looking for someone to take on a double team, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what you want him for. Deion Walker, though, he had a 1.90 10-yard split. It's one of the worst of all time for a defensive tackle.
That's not good.
Time. Worst of all time.
All right.
And he has a high pad level. It's not inconsistent pad level. It's a high pad level.
I mean,
and he gets out
in his defense, he'd have to be on his hands and knees for a low pad level.
I know, but right, you got to be able to play lower if you're going to play on the D line. And I think ultimately he's a 3-4 end. So I don't even think he fits here, to be honest, because I don't see him playing at D tackle for us. He's just not good at it. He's not a nose tackle. So you'd be playing him 3-tech, and I don't think he's going to get out leveraged. I mean, maybe he would give you something, but I wouldn't want to touch him till the 4th round. That's my thoughts on it.
Yeah. No, I don't care. I like the guy.
I know.
I like the guy.
I know. You're allowed to. Guys, you're allowed
I'm allowed to like anything, Dale. I can like anything.
He's still in the top 20, right? So I haven't completely gave up on him. Some people have him as like a 6th, 7th round pick right now.
One thing I don't like is this stupid thing Chop gave me. I keep trying to break it. It doesn't break on me.
Well, hold on, because we got Christmas coming.
Yeah, it's almost here.
Hans Gruber. It's not Christmas till Hans Gruber falls from the fucking.
At 15's another guy the Bengals had in for a visit recently, and that's Ty Robinson from Nebraska. He's 6'5", 288. You can move him up down the.
Come for a visit, right?
Yep.
Man, I was going to ask you about him. Good deal, because I see a lot of mocks picking him up in later rounds now. If you ask me, it's like the Bengals, like inner circle kind of media guys. I see them picking this guy up.
Well, and I don't think later round, I think absolute latest is 4th, but I think he's going to sneak into day 2. I really do, because his RAS score was a 9.89.
Wow.
And he had 7 sacks this year for Nebraska. Now, he is older. He's a 6th-year guy at Nebraska. So not just a 5th, a 6th-year guy. So he's probably already, 24, 25 years old, somewhere around there. But very athletic, 2,500-plus career snaps. Played 59 games at Nebraska. Played in 59 freaking games. That's insane. I like him.
James Rapine is using your draft guide. I know it because I know he's one of them that drafted him early, earlier than whatever the draft database he was using wanted to, and gave him an F. But you talking about how this guy's going to sneak into day 2, I can tell where he's getting his information.
Yeah, there you go.
Good job,
Jamari Caldwell, Oregon, 6'2", 332. Not probably going to give you as a pass rusher, had 0 sacks at Oregon, but the year before at Houston, he had 6.5 sacks. Big summer.
Greg's power went out again.
No, I'm still fine.
Oh,
I just had to check up on. I just got to go check up on something.
Okay,
but he's also a little older. He spent 2 years at JUCO, and then 2 at Houston, and then spent this past year at Oregon. Did have a 17.7% win rate on true pass sets, which is really good. So he got some pressure, but he's a big bowling ball. So he's fun. I don't know that he would fit for what we want because we brought in like a TJ Slayton, but He comes in at 14 on my list, and I could see he's another guy I could see 3rd, 4th round is where he should go. Shamar Turner comes in at 13, Texas A&M, 6'3", 290. Did not have a good season. Terrible pass rush win rate, but the year before he played almost more on the edge, like a 3-4 in, and he had 6 sacks. So they were trying to play him in spots where they had McKinley Jackson play in sometimes at nose, at zero tech.
Plus that Texas line, right?
Yeah, and there's a lot going on at Texas A&M. So he's probably better than that, but he only a 5.9% win rate. Not a good season. He's had some discipline before and after the whistle. He's the guy who punched someone in the nuts last year during
Jesus
the game.
Christ.
Yeah.
I need that guy. I don't mind a little bit of that.
Yeah, unless he's getting penalties. And he did have
unless
6
you're
penalties.
getting penalties. You got to punch guys in the nuts on the sly.
So I'm not a huge fan of him, but I do think he's going day 2. Jordan Phillips, I won't spend too much time because for the Bengals wise, 6'2", 312. Thought he should have went back to school. He was at Tennessee for a year and then 2 years at Maryland. He's never had a sack in his entire career. He's a run stopper, but he's young. He's barely played 1,000 career snaps. You'd be getting him for his upside and what he can do against the run. And I think his best football is ahead of him. So I still have him at 12, but not a fit to me for the Bengals specifically. This guy I would think's a fit, even though he may go in the 4th. He's number 1 in my heart, and that's Aeneas Peebles from Virginia.
Yes.
6 foot, 282. So last year he had a 90.1 pass rush grade. 2023, 90.1 pass rush grade. So what's he do this year in 2024 season?
What does he do, Dale?
He has a 91 pass rush grade. So
Yep.
he's a force when it comes to getting after the quarterback. Had a 27.3% pass rush win rate on true pass sets in 2024. He had 3 sacks this year, 5 the year before. He gets pressure. He can finish. And I'm a big Aeneas Peebles fan. I know Parker Blake took him in a draft he was doing in the 3rd round, and some people were like, oh, it's too soon. He goes in the 4th in these mocks. Excuse me. That was coming, so I had to take a minute.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't think 3rd. Pick 81, I think, would be just fine for me, for Aeneas Peebles. I really like him. But if he was there and you got him in the 4th, man, you talk about just a home run pick.
What if they took him at pick 49, Dale?
I wouldn't be mad, but everyone would lose their shit, and I would go, I see the vision.
Are you kidding me? I shit my shit like I did last night. I'd rub it all over my face and scream, hell yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Another guy we had in for a visit, Omar Norman-Lott. He's interesting. 6'2", 291, 30.8 win rate on true pass sets this past season. 4 sacks, 5.5 the year before. So he doesn't play a ton of snaps at Tennessee, yet still put up good numbers. Still had a great win rate. He's not been very good against the run. 33.3% missed tackle rate. That's not good. You're missing almost 1/3 of every tackle attempt you make. But he's an interesting player.
Oh, Ryan says that the PFF dropped him again.
Yeah, they don't know what
Who
they're talking
cares?
Hey, look, man, let him drop his ass, and hopefully the Bengals are a little higher on him and pick him up in a later round.
We will be laughing at the end.
Did Greg just malfunction?
I think he did. Someone needed to hit him in the back,
What do you mean?
Your words weren't coming out like words.
Right.
For a second.
We will be laughing at the end.
I thought you were going to say that if Nina Peebles does any good in the NFL, you'll spread your legs for him and let him kick you in the nuts.
Oh, no. I'm saving that for others.
Yeah. But Norman-Lott, I do think 3rd round for him because I worry about the knee and playing against the run. And was there a reason that he didn't play more? You know, is there some underlying character things that we don't know about that he didn't play more? Was he not a good player at practice? Did he only show up for games? Like, not show up literally, but, he didn't practice well.
Right.
And that's why he didn't play more. I don't know. It's just, because I'm like, why wouldn't you play a guy more that was as productive as a pass rusher as him? It don't make sense to me. There's still something that don't make sense with Norman-Lott. But that's why I think it's good they had him in for a top 30 visit. Number 9, Josh Farmer, 6'3", 305. Thought he could go back to Florida State. 4 sacks this year, 5 the year before. I know Daniel Jeremiah for a long time had him in his top 50. I was like, I can't get there with him. I think that's another guy, 3rd round. He needs to learn how to use his body, though, because he's a guy who put on, I don't remember, like 70, 80 pounds in college because he was so much smaller when he came in. Yeah, like he must have been a line. I don't know what recruit he was. Like, I don't have that information, but I remember hearing how he put on a shitload of weight to be a D tackle. So he's still learning how to use his body properly.
He went from Emmanuel Forbes to Andre Smith.
Well, he's 305, so he must have been like 230, 240 maybe.
Jesus,
I don't know.
That's
he put
a lot
on
of weight, man.
Yes, in college. So
that is not functional weight, though, man. You put on that much weight.
I mean, he's put it on pretty well, to be fair.
Is he really?
The functional part of it, to me, shows up as a run defender, and he's still learning to do that.
This kid must have hit puberty in college.
Yeah, there's still a lot of things he needs to work on, technique, his hand usage, all of that to improve. But he does have high upside as a pass rusher, so he's probably a guy you're thinking he'll go in the 3rd. Maybe somebody likes him enough to take him at the end of the 2nd. Wouldn't shock me. Alfred Collins, a lot different. 6'6", 332. Big son bitch.
Big son bitch.
Was playing behind T'Vondre Sweat, so he was never like the man till this year. But he's played in over 60 football games at Texas.
Yeah, geez.
So a lot of games that he played in and rotated in and was getting playing time. Never has put up more than 2 sacks in a season. Not worried about that. He's a big run defender, nose tackle type of player, and that's going to be what he does in the NFL. I imagine he'll go in the 2nd round. TJ Sanders is at number 7. Bull Rush McIntyre. As PFF calls him, Bull Rush McIntyre is his nickname.
And visiting the Bengals, too.
Another top 30 visit, 6'4", 297. Not great against the run as of right now, but he's been very productive. 4 sacks this year, 4.5 the year before. He's a good pass rusher. I wish he finished more often on tape. I see him also not finish. He should have been a guy that had 7 or 8 sacks, in my opinion. So I like him. I don't love him. I almost think 49 would maybe for him be a little too rich.
Yeah,
for the Bengals, but I do think he goes somewhere in that 2nd, 3rd round range.
You like to see guys finish.
Yeah. Oh, God, we got Katie Blackburn in the chat there.
Hey, look at that. She's here. Yeah, she says Texas is dry and tight, just like her. And then she got a cat emoji. Fans should be happy. Should just be happy. There you go. Thank you, Katie, popping in. I knew it. I knew that she was here. Thank you for finally typing something in.
Greg's covering his face. He don't want to be associated with it. I mean, Greg, we're just reading a comment from the chat, and it says
Greg sits in 307.
I don't know who it is.
No. That's fake news.
At number 6, I have Darius Alexander, another guy in for a top 30 visit.
Yes, Dale, you got me sold on.
He is older, right? He's an older guy. I think he's a 6-year guy, and I think he's going to be turning like 25. So but it's like, can you get even 5 good years out of him here as a pass rusher? And I think he can move up and down the line. And he had a very good Senior Bowl week, a very good season for Toledo. Even had a thick 6 in their bowl game. You always love to see a thick 6, you know?
Yes.
But 3.5 sacks this year, 4 the year before, 22.6% pass rush win rate, had a 9.16 RAS. A lot to like with Darius Alexander as a pass rusher, in my opinion. Tyleik Williams comes in at number 5. I don't see a ton of pass rush with this guy, but he is an absolute dog against the run. And when he was healthy for that playoff run, that's when you saw Jack Sawyer, JTT really go off as pass rushers because he's the guy there holding the point, pushing the pocket in the middle. So Tyleik Williams, to me, he's 6'3", 334, and he's fairly athletic. So for a guy that size, he's not the greatest pass rusher, like I mentioned, doesn't have the pass rush plan, the arsenal that you want to see, but that's not his role. He's going to be a stud against the run, and he'll still push the pocket and give you something.
And he plays nose?
Yeah, he'll probably be more nose.
It's funny. Last year, there was one nose tackle in the entire draft with Devondre Sweat. Two? Who was the other one? It was besides
McKinley Jackson.
Who?
McKinley Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there were some others. You know, there were some later guys, and the one guy that went to the 49ers ended up being pretty good. Evan something. He was in the draft guide. I'm blanking on the name. I know if Ryan Sparks is watching, he'll have that because he kept wanting us to pick him up because he was on the practice squad. Evan Anderson, that's who it is.
Yeah.
Florida International, I think. Anyways, moving on. Number 4, I have Kenneth Grant. And it's tough because this could easily – Derek Harmon and Kenneth Grant literally have the same grade. So 3, 4, 4, 3. It's Kenneth Grant, Derek Harmon. Opposite players. Derek Harmon's going to be more your pass rush guy. Kenneth Grant's your run stopper at 6'3", 330. I do think Kenneth Grant can give something as a pass rusher. I think he's a good athlete for a guy that size. But from day one, he's going to come in and be a good run stopper. I still wouldn't be mad if the Bengals took him at 17. Even though they took Slayton, right. I still wouldn't be mad because I think he's going to be an excellent player.
You think he's very athletic?
Yes. Derek Harmon, 6'4", 313. He was a guy who was like 350 when he was at Michigan State for a while. So now that he's dropped that weight and spent this year at Oregon, he was a much better pass rusher, 26.5% win rate on true pass sets. But he had difficulty finishing tackles, needs to be better at gap discipline. Overall, as a run defender, just needs to improve. Finishing plays, he needs to improve. I wouldn't love that at 17. I know a lot of other Bengals fans would. I would be okay with it. It would be like, okay to me.
This is where we have our differences. I don't see not hate, but Derek Harmon, man, he seems like a safe pick and all that. I would be fine with Derek Harmon at 17, Dale.
Yeah, I mean, he'd be okay.
I would take him over Pierce in a heartbeat, and I would push that button 10 times on Harmon.
I would take him over Pierce too, but I wouldn't take him over number 2 on my list, and that's Walter Nolan from Ole Miss.
That's different, yes.
6'4", 296, and I think if both guys are on the board, I hope we go Nolan. I think he's got more upside. I think he's clearly a better run defender, and I think the stats that I talked about on the show on Friday if you're over 17% pass rush win rate on true pass sets, he's at 19.5, and you're over 10 on run stop, and he's at 11.9%. There's 2 players in this class. It's him and my number 1 guy, Mason Graham. The success rate for players that hit those thresholds is very high in the NFL. It translates. Maybe it won't this year. Maybe he'll be an outlier for that. But I loved what I saw on tape. I didn't see that stuff till later on. You know, this is my evaluation of him was built by watching his tape, like watching him versus LSU, watching him versus South Carolina, watching him versus Florida. He had a great season, I thought, this year for Ole Miss, 6.5 sacks, even when it's like, well, he wasn't that good at Texas A&M. He was a true sophomore at Texas A&M last year, and he still had 4 sacks in a rotational role on that line. So he's a damn good player. I love Walter Nolan. I think he'd be a slam dunk pick at 17. I'm not going to back off. We get Walter
Nolan. I'll be waving my hands, running around like a maniac.
Yeah. And Mason Graham, everything I said about Walter Nolan, if Mason Graham falls to 17, you take him, right? But I can't see him falling out of the top 5 or top 10.
No.
We did it, Chop. We did it. An hour and 4 minutes and 45 seconds
I
in.
know.
Went through 20 edge players, 20 defensive tackle players, my top 20 for each. We got it all in before you got
I couldn't have done it without you, Dale.
Thanks, Chop. I
And you,
helped out
Greg.
where I could.
It's a teamwork thing.
Woo.
I appreciate the both of y'all. And also the Brew Crew. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So that was a lot. It was a lot of talking. I tried to warn you. We'll try to have a more fun show Friday. You know, Chop loves to do his mock drafts on Friday, so we'll definitely have to run one of those off. Should be a more fun, more lively show. Maybe some Greg mouth dancing. We'll get to a lot of things. I'll probably just set the show as a mock draft. You know,
Mock Draft Friday.
Mock draft Friday. Let's go. Let's get it done.
Yeah, maybe we could have someone from the Brew Crew pop in and help us with our mock draft.
Yeah, we could mix it up, man. Have some fun with it.
Yeah, we'll have fun with it. Mix it up.
We won't take Walter Nolan on Friday because it's just too predictable.
We might take Jihad Campbell though.
I don't know. We might have to mix it up completely.
We might mix it up completely. We might take Amarius Hampton.
We might just do something crazy.
We could take him.
Might take Shador Sanders.
We could take Shador Sanders.
We're not going to do that.
We're taking Travis Hunter.
But I appreciate you all for tuning in.
We're trading our whole draft for one pick and taking Travis Hunter, which is 2 picks because we get a wide receiver in.
I was going to say, then if you're doing that, then you're playing him at corner and receiver. I don't care.
Yeah,
just let him play. Right? I know we've got receivers, but he's getting some snaps at receiver.
He's getting some.
He better be a shutdown corner, and he's going to return kicks and punts.
And he's going to return to kicks. He's special teams. He's going to play every snap of the entire fucking game. Yeah.
Hey, good seeing you too.
You too, Tina.
Tina, hope you're doing well. By the way, happy birthday to the Iceman.
Oh yeah, that's right. Happy birthday, Jeffrey. The Iceman kept trying to
Jeffrey.
He is still not woke up from his drunken episode the other night.
Yeah, when I called him the next morning, man, I could barely hear his voice.
Hey, it happens.
It happens. Hey, we're happy for you, J-Dog.
Yes, happy birthday, Big Daddy.
Yeah.
Well, that sounded gay.
No, I mean it is, but it's cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You guys know
better.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, whatever.
Okay.
Either way, that's fine.
Yeah. I love Jeff.
Appreciate y'all. Hooday.